Hi everyone, welcome to Coffee, Books, and Rain, and this is going to be episode number 2. So, I know on my main channel I did an episode for A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, and so I'm going to try to actually do better justice to that book by actually pulling up the Wikipedia page and giving a little bit of a better plot and going through a little bit more of the release date stats as well as other books in the series, and then giving again a little bit more of my reviews. Since this channel is more literary based, is more book based, book review based, I wanted to kind of give it a little bit more thought. And so these episodes will be a little bit longer just in order to give these reads the credit that they are due. Other books that will come up in the future will be advanced reader copies that I have gotten through NetGalley that I have requested and they have sent me, and the publishers have been so kind to trust me to provide an honest review, and I will be doing some of those as well, so please stay tuned because as we come into February very soon, I will be releasing a couple episodes that, let me see, I do already have a little list. So I think we're going to do The Tainted Cup, and we're going to definitely be doing probably That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf by Kimberly Lemming. So those are two that are on my horizon, and I can't wait to share those with you guys. But I want to get into February before I share those because since they're advanced reader copies, I don't want to give too much away too early. So let's get into A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. And so, as I said in the other episode on my main channel, and you're welcome to go check it out, as well as the podcast episode that I did with my co-host Hannah, A Deadly Education is a 2020 fantasy novel. Now, some of this wording will come from Wikipedia, so I want to give them credit. I am not going to try to quote it verbatim. I am just literally using some of their wordsmithing in order to do justice to give the book its due observations. I do like this book quite a bit and was surprised that I had waited so long to actually read this book. But again, it was written and released, I suppose I should say, in 2020. It is the first of a trilogy of the Scholomance trilogy. There is a sequel called The Last Graduate, and then the final volume is The Golden Enclaves, both respectively released in 21 and 22. So all three are out and available now. I have not read the other two, but I do plan to because if the first one sets a kind of a standard, then I definitely think we are on a very good path. So to describe the setting, and this was something that I was not prepared for because I believe I picked up the audiobook even though I have the paperback book, and I'm going to actually hold it up for you guys. So here it is. So I'm going to try to put like the covers like in my screen, but since I actually physically have this book, I'll just hold it up and show it to you. So this particular book has like a map of how the school is laid out, and it seems as though it is almost like a prison. It does not seem to be very student friendly. In fact, I don't know what the graduating rate is, but it cannot be very good. And there are monsters everywhere. If this was Hogwarts, then there would be like I don't know, there would probably be three-headed dogs like around every turn, and even though the stairwells would be moving, there would also be things trying to eat them at every turn. So it is definitely no place to, like, unless you are truly dedicated to learning magic, good luck, because you are absolutely more likely not to make it than to make it. Naomi Novik stated that she said, and I quote, that it paints a truly horrible place. Years locked up in the dark with answers to your lessons appearing in letters of flame, no teachers, and no contact to the outside world. So you are there for the 4 years of your educational career. You literally go in with a certain weight limit, and that is all you have for the 4 years you're there. Now imagine you are a freshman. So whenever I was a freshman, going into ninth grade, I guess that is. Um, I would never have been able to prepare. No, I would have no idea how to prepare for 4 years of high school, especially in a college that's trying to kill me. So like these kids, they're limited on their clothing, they're limited on their shoes, they're limited on the stuff that they're able to bring in from the outside world. And so everything is very trade and barter, like to the nth degree. And again, I did say no teachers. So there's almost no, well, there is no adult supervision. The adults are the seniors who are literally just trying to make it through their final year and get out. That is really like the adults. And so the Scholomance is the school, and it was built so these wizard children have a place to learn magic. And it says, quoting Wikipedia, in a safer environment until they're able to defend themselves. This is the least safe environment I have ever read about. I think I would much rather study magic outside in nature than go into the Scholomance and have my green beans try to attack me at lunchtime, because it turns out students are getting mutilated at lunch or breakfast or whatever the dining may be, or in the library or what have you. So, but you go in about age 14, then you have no real contact to the outside world except for when new students come in. So at the time new freshmen come in, they can maybe bring a letter or something from maybe like a parent or the outside world if you're lucky. But of course you usually have to pay for the privilege, and so that's something that's kind of like hit or miss, because some of those kids will have letters for what are called enclave kids that are kind of in a little bit of a better magical position than others. However, people like Elle, who's our main character, Elle, her name is Galadriel L. Higgins. She her mom has not been able to contact her except maybe hit and miss through dreams, and even that's very kind of tentative at best. So, Elle, we meet in book one, and she is in her junior year. So, we do learn that she has been struggling incredibly hard, that she really doesn't have any friends, that she is very much a loner, and we also learn through a couple flashbacks that her father, during his senior year, sacrificed himself so her mother could survive with her in utero. So Elle is somebody who is surprisingly incredibly powerful, but also kind of has a little bit of a grudge because, of course, she never knew her father. And her mom is like a ray of sunshine the way she is depicted. And Elle kind of has a chip on her shoulder because Elle's magic tends to go towards the Maleficers, which is kind of like trending towards evil. Her power is so powerful that the school constantly wants to give her spells to blow things up or to set off a super volcano or things of that nature. Well, Elle doesn't really want to use that level of power. Sometimes she just wants to clean her room or, you do little things, not do something incredibly massive that would cause the accidental downfall of her entire school. Um, so she meets a guy, and his name is Orion Lake, and he at first thinks that she is a maleficer, so he's following her in order to maybe intervene and stop her if she is the one who is causing the demise of other students. However, he quickly realizes that she is not, and so they kind of band together to try to figure out what's going on. They they make a very loose friendship at first, but it does kind of help Elle branch out and start being like, to have a friend, you have to be a friend. And she starts kind of doing that a little more because she sees that she's in her junior year, and the only way to survive into her senior year is to create a small circle of wizards or a small circle of people who are able to work together and to trust each other enough to be able to survive that final gauntlet and to escape. And so that's what they're working towards. Elle realizes that, she does have some people in her kind of in her vicinity that she can call friends, and they do start working together in a way that is not always about just bartering or getting an upper hand on each other. And so that's really kind of pretty important. Now, the funny thing about this book, in my personal opinion, is that the Goodreads audience didn't give it the greatest reviews. And I think that's why I wanted to talk about it more so than some of the other books that I've read. Is Naomi Novik is a person who has written some books that are very fairy tale like. They're usually a little bit darker, but not in the Grimm's fairy tale sort of way. But there is struggle, there's heartache, but it always kind of leaves that lingering, again, fairy tale ish sort of quality. Not always a happily ever after either. This is completely different from that genre of book series that she's been writing, and I think some of her fan base were not really prepared for what was coming from this particular book series. I think they also, and I think I had a little bit of struggle with this as well, is I think that I thought there was going to be a more of a redemption arc in it. I think thought I was going to see more good come out of it. And you know what? I really didn't, because yes, I think Naomi Novik has a very great sense of humor. I think there's a lot of like whimsy in it, but it does seem to miss a little something that Naomi Novik seems to be able to put into her books in other ways. And I'd be interested to see, I'm just looking on the Wikipedia, that Deadly Education was a finalist for the Lodestar Award for Best Young Adult Book, but I don't think it got it. I think it was just a finalist. And it has been optioned at Universal for a film adaptation. Now, I think that could be pretty cool. I think I would enjoy seeing this adapted to film, because I do think we see a lot of dark academia that some is done well and some is done kind of poorly. I think this could actually translate to something that could be done quite well. I believe the characters were pretty inclusive as well as far as diversity. And I think that, let me see, I just wanted to see if I captured all my little notes. It sits at about 330 pages, so it's not super long. And honestly, I thought it was a fun read. Like I said, it goes really fast, and honestly, it's good to see a character who's not just cookie cutter of always good. And I think even when you see Orion Lake, who is like the quote unquote hero, you're going to be surprised that he doesn't fit the mold of being a quote unquote hero in the sense that we maybe are most used to seeing a hero be presented. So anyway, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for tuning in. If you've made it this far, I would love your comments. Please tell me some books that you love or ones that are upcoming that maybe you want me to review. And I will see you all on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.